Well, I mean, I got it after Bruce.
Get on there and go, stop talking. Nope, I'm good. I'm I won't miss it again.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Good.
7, 8, 9.
It's 12 o'clock. I know.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to call a special called meeting to order. I'd like to lead us in our prayer, and right from the prayer, we'll go into the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Flag of the United States of America. Mr. Higginbotham, call roll, please.
Councilman Roberts,
Here.
President Logan,
Here.
Councilman Hinton, Councilman Davis,
Here.
Councilman Hogg.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. Item 4 was approval of our agenda. We have one item on the agenda, and is there a motion to approve the agenda as printed?
Motion to approve.
That's a motion by Councilman Hogg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
Councilman Hogg,
Yes.
Councilman Davis,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 5 regarding our meeting today, ladies and gentlemen, is a public hearing concerning the consideration of project development agreement by and between the City of Northport and Bullseye at 1871 LLC. Before we go into it, I want to at least give us a brief synopsis of the mechanics of it. Because we're dealing with the state law, of course, we've got John Ray, our retail attorney, that will walk us through this process, and it's pretty transparent, so it's going to be very engaging with citizens. So I'm going to introduce John Ray, but we're going through some similar mechanics where we would identify the thing on the agenda, and then we'll have a public hearing, fact finding, close the public hearing, and then go through council discussion. So, John.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we've discussed, we have before the council today a project development agreement between the city of Northport and the Bullseye at 1871 LLC. It's a draft agreement for your consideration. In the agreement, the city provides certain incentives for an economic development project, and I want to talk about some of the terms of the agreement, but also the process that we're taking to go through the approval of the agreement. So under the Alabama Constitution, the city is not allowed to provide public funds to a private entity. There is an exception, and that is Amendment 772 to the Alabama Constitution, and it gives the city the ability to provide public funds and things of value to any individual or corporation for the purpose of promoting the economic and industrial development of the city. And so under Amendment 772, the process is that the council provides public notice of the consideration of approving an incentive package under 772. You have to publish notice of that at least 7 days before the hearing in the newspaper having the largest circulation in the city. And that was done in the Tuscaloosa News last Friday. And that notice set out the general terms of the proposed development agreement. And that is before you today. And one of the important process under Amendment 772 is the public has an opportunity to be heard and considered, and their comments considered in connection with the approval of the agreement. And so that's why we're having the public hearing, to allow the public input on this potential project. So the proposed development agreement, Mr. President, if you want me to just sort of give a few outlines of the project.
Yeah.
So under the proposed development agreement, the developer is the Bullseye at 1871 LLC, which is a Delaware limited liability company. There is a project area that is applied to this agreement, and it's the land generally located at the southwest corner of McFarland and Trade Center Drive in Northport. I think you've got it on the map. So the general outlines of the agreement are that the developer has the ability, with installation of certain commercial developments, to receive a rebate of the city sales tax and city lodging tax generated by certain commercial enterprises in the project area. So the agreement says that if the developer puts in qualifying commercial development projects, they can receive up to $100,000 a year of city sales tax and city lodging tax proceeds, capped at $1 million over the course of a 10-year term of the agreement. The basic function of the agreement is that the sales tax and lodging tax would be split, half to the city, half to the developer, and capped at $100,000 per year. Okay. It's important that the eligible taxes for rebate under the development agreement is the city's lodging tax, which is currently in force today, and the city's sales tax as assessed today at the rate of 2%. The agreement makes clear that any increases in the city lodging tax and the city sales tax would not be eligible for rebate under this agreement. So it is rebating the taxes currently in place today in the project area. Now, the basic concept of the agreement is similar to, as I understand, the city has employed in the past in the Northport Corners project. In that case, the city had a base level of sales, and you rebated a certain amount above the base level of sales. That same concept is continued here, but we all recognize that currently the base level of sales or lodging tax in this area is zero, and nothing's happening. So any new development would lead to the potential growth and potential rebate under the project. It's important to note that the developer is free to develop the property as he sees fit, but only eligible commercial enterprises are eligible for rebate. So the agreement makes clear that there are no sales tax rebates for a quick serve restaurant, which is defined under the agreement essentially as a fast food restaurant. There's no sales tax rebates for a gas station or for a convenience store or anything like that. It's for a retail establishment designed to generate commercial sales to the public other than those. And the agreement does contemplate the potential rebate of city lodging tax if a hotel is constructed in the project area, but that hotel must meet certain standards, and it must be at least a 3-star hotel, which is defined under the agreement. The hotel must have interior rooms, access by an interior corridor. It does not apply to any hotels that are lower than a 3-star hotel or that has rooms for occupancy that are accessed directly from the outside of the facility, like from the parking lot, for instance. So today, that's a general outline. I certainly can have other be available to answer other questions. Today, the question in front of this council is this project, that the standard that Amendment 772 requires this council to determine is whether or not this development agreement and the expenditure of public funds and things of value that are proposed in the agreement will serve a valid and sufficient public purpose, notwithstanding any incidental benefit accruing to the developer or any other private person or entity. So that's the question for the council today, and that's what this process is supposed to help you determine, and the public has an opportunity to have their views known on that question. So I'll be available certainly to answer any questions, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, John. I think those are contracts in the back. Is that right, Whitney? Those are okay. So, all right. So, if any member of the public wanted to get you a contract, that's your contract. So, get your contract, look it over as we're talking. I think next step would be John's, of course, giving us the brief synopsis. We will then open up our floor for a public hearing. So, you can come up as citizens, or folks may have some ideas, concerns, emotional outbursts, what have you. Come up, and we won't respond. The reason we may not respond, we want to make sure we digest these comments as best we can and try to address them when it's our time to address them. So the way the mechanics will work again, I'll open the floor for a public hearing. You can come speak. Council will probably listen to the request, and then we will then, when our time to discuss after we suspend the rules, which is another action to do, we will then actually address some of the comments that the public raised to us and then have some open discussion amongst everybody else. So if we're okay with that, I will open the floor for our public hearing regarding this agenda item. So if you would, as you come up, please state your name and address for the record, and then we will go forward.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, Bobby Herndon, 2728 Lurleen Wallace Boulevard in Northport. As you all are well aware, I'm in full support of incentivizing or being partners with businesses, anything that we can do to attract new businesses in the Northport. As I've stated many times before, Northport does not have an interstate going through it, where we have to compete with our sister city of Tuscaloosa and other cities of our size to get any good thing commercial-wise to happen in Northport. So I applaud the council for considering the incentive packages. I'm not going to be speaking on for or against the project as such out by Lowe's. I just want you to keep in mind that we have to be competitive as a city. We have to move forward with incentives when possible. But having said that, I hope that this mayor and council, and I'm sure you have done your homework, as far as value to value, dollar to dollar, are we looking at something that's going to come back and bite us in the rear end? Or is it something that we got a pro forma or some kind of on paper that it should work? I don't want us to jump off the deep end and say, hey, we don't get nothing to back us up on. But like I said, I applaud you for considering incentive packages. Northport needs it. We need more of them. But anyway, I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Bobby. Any other citizens? No, we're still digesting the proposed agreement. You're probably looking it over. If any other citizen wanted to come speak. Yes, sir.
May I just add one thing I should have said before? I failed to mention that the proposed projects, commercial buildings, as set forth in the agreement, consisting of approximately 22,000 square feet, and with an estimated approximate capital investment by the developer or his tenants at $5.365 million. And I think one important aspect of this agreement that I failed to mention before is there, of course, is no upfront incentive provided by the city in connection with this development agreement. It is strictly contingent on the production of the project. So the city is rebating half of new sales tax revenue that's generated by this project, sales tax and lodging tax as applicable, capped at the $100,000 figure. So to be sure, that's done precisely to address the gentleman's concern about risk to the city. This is not a general obligation of the city. This is not a debt of the city to be listed on your as a general obligation of the city. It is an obligation paid solely from the potential sales tax and lodging taxes generated from this project area pursuant to the terms of this agreement. So no extended funds from the city, only rebating half, capped at that number of new revenue.
Thank you, John, for that clarification. Any other member of the public wanted to come and address the council and put their comments on record? All right. I will hereby close our public hearing. Next step in the mechanics, folks, is to actually suspend our rules. And it's, Ron, make sure I'm getting it right. We got to have unanimous vote for our council. Is that right? Okay. All right, so in the new business, this will be item 6A1. This is the first reading of a permanent resolution authorizing the project development agreement by and between the City of Northport and Bullseye at 1871 LLC. Again, we have to unanimously suspend the rules. So if there a motion on the floor to immediately consider this to suspend the rules?
I'll make that motion to move to suspend the rules in order to immediately consider authorizing the project development agreement by and between the City of Northport and Bullseye at 1871 LLC.
That's a motion by Councilman Hogg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Roberts. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
Councilman Hogg,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, we are under suspended rules. So I guess the next step, Ron and John, we can actually start discussing this particular matter publicly. All right, so. All right. All right, is there a motion to approve that resolution authorizing the project development agreement by and between the City of Northport and Bullseye at 1871 LLC?
I'll make that motion.
It's a motion by Councilman Hogg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. All right, floor is open for questions, comments, concerns, emotional outbursts from council. Well, let me start off, Mayor, Honorable Mayor Aaron. Tell me, I think I'm gonna let you start off, ladies first. Let's get your kind of thoughts. Let the record show. We're going backwards this time, Mayor.
I personally think this is a very good thing for our city. I think it will begin a snowball effect. Hopefully no snowball, but it will start some other interests that we have that people have expressed, and they're ready to come here and do something. And I think this is a good step forward in that direction, and it will certainly encourage others to jump in and take a chance with us.
Yes, ma'am. Councilman Roberts, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add or something we can consider.
Just briefly, with my short time here in the area, a lot of our businesses here, and I'm going to speak specifically from the automotive segment, some form of tax abatement or something has been used as incentive to bring a lot of these industries into the area. This does not appear to be diametrically opposed to that particular philosophy. It's been used. I think the funds probably came from TCIDA for the most part, but state of Alabama allows tax abatement to do this for major industries hitting certain segments for number of people, size of the business. In this case, we are looking to apply it on very strict requirements. And even though we talk in terms of the sales tax revenue from those items that will get the split in the penny, the items that we have excluded from this will still generate tax revenue if they're built on the property. They're not entitled to the rebate, so it is a win-win as far as I'm concerned from the business segment, because you have to perform in order to get the rebate.
Yeah, that's the nature of calling it an incentive. District 4, Councilman Davis.
Yes, Councilman, President Logan, you know, there's 4 of us up here today, a couple of years ago that promised to work hard to bring the citizens of Northport, you know, something new. And, you know, a little over 2 years later, here we are. This is a small step, but you gotta take those steps in order to take more steps. So that's all I have.
District 5, Councilman Hogg.
I think it goes without saying that something like this is definitely a catalyst. It can be a domino effect for other things. If you look at the actual map, if we can get that pulled back up. Everyone knows the area that we're talking about here at next to Lowe's. There is a lot of area there that has been cleared off that's getting ready. I think there's, I could be wrong, but I think it's around 40-something acres. And we're talking about this little piece here that's outlined in blue. This right here is not the whole area here. It's just this little piece that I feel that by us taking this step as a council to show that we are in the market for new to market items here. This is not something, as Mr. Ray talked about, that we're not looking to incentivize fast food. We're not looking to incentivize gas stations. All the things that our residents have said in the past that you know, they're not opposed to seeing, but it's not something they want us out pursuing. So we are trying to take what the residents have said. We're trying to look at these items that we feel that the residents will be proud of when they call Northport home. I feel that this incentive package here, like Councilman Roberts said, that it's a win-win with the one penny of the 2-cent sales tax or the lodging tax and performance-based. This is a step in the right direction for Northport. And if we are going to do things and have the type of businesses that our residents are looking forward to, we've got to step out on the ledge and do the things that we need to do to incentivize these businesses to come here. As former Mayor Herndon said earlier when he spoke, we are limited. We're limited on population. We're limited on median household income. We're limited on traffic count. We're limited on having an interstate, et cetera. So when you have these type of businesses that want to look, and these type of developers that want to look at Northport, you need to make sure that you do something back to them. That's my personal opinion on this. I do like knowing that we can hopefully go forward with this. That gives the developer an opportunity to sort out various types of businesses that could be a benefit here, and he knows what type of businesses we're looking for based on this development agreement, so he can go after those because that's where he's getting his bang for the buck. If he goes out and just wants to put a fast food restaurant and a gas station there, I guess he can. He owns that piece of property. However, he's not getting any incentivized money here from the city or rebate back. So I think he's got some skin in the game to go out and look for the type of businesses that the council, the mayor, and our residents want. Synopsis on this.
Thank you, Councilman. Before I speak, I'll recognize newly elected State Representative Rodney Sullivan. He was part of our team, and we set out to do something crazy like bring development to Northport, if you can believe it. So he's part of it. So we recognize you, Representative, and come on up and give us Tell us how much money you're gonna bring to Northport with some state paving and some.
Well, I was just enjoying watching you guys, but I appreciate you recognizing me. Obviously, I do support what you guys are doing, and you remember over the last several years, when we looked at our audits, and our auditors would tell us that, hey, we only have one incentive on our books, and they want to see more. It shows that we're growing. So for you guys to do that, I certainly appreciate that. So it's going to be good for the city.
It
Let me
is.
ask a question. What is it?
Well, we have closed the public hearing.
Oh, that's right.
You have. You're a member of the public, Mr. State Representative. You're a member of the public.
You're right.
Decorum has been set already. Protocol's
That's
been
right.
set. I don't.
I know. I just had to pick at you on that. Yeah, I'm glad to be a part of some of these early discussions. So appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Representative. Thank you. I'll wrap it up and put it on a bow. Like Mayor Aaron said, when we got elected, we said that night we were going to do stuff bold. You're going to scratch your head. You're going to say, what are those guys doing up there, and ladies, what are they doing? And we were going to take criticism, and that's okay. It's just with good growth and it's sound. I think everybody can agree Northport is really starting to position themselves to be successful in retail and development, because we got a lot to offer, but we got to start turning the possibility and opportunity into real action. So